The Radio Forest Podcast.
Forrest, it's Bret Michaels. My friend, how are you doing?
Another PA boy.
That's it. We're from Pennsylvania. We're Pennsylvanians.
That's right, man. I'm from between Williamsport and Wilkes-Barre, kind of in that area.
I know it more than you know. Do you know how many times I've traveled up to go there? Because my dad, again, Navy vet, but we moved around a bit on the East Coast, but born and raised in Pittsburgh, then moved to Harrisburg, Mechanicsburg, and then up you got Wilkes-Barre, Williamsburg, and Scranton.
Yep.
All kind of in the same area right there.
Yeah, it's like the same town pretty much.
Yes, good time.
Yeah. Did you ever have a choice? Because my family, they're all diehard Penn State fans. So growing up, nobody really has a choice. It's just like the uncles, the aunts, the cousins, people go there. Did you ever have a choice to not be a Pittsburgh fan, or since day one, it was just like a religion?
I was born into the black and gold, or as we say, the black and yellow, born in bleeding black and gold. And then I come from a family of sports fanatics. So then it was either Pitt Panthers or the Nittany Lions. You better make a choice. The only thing you could slide possibly out of there was maybe Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
You maybe got Notre Dame in there, but it was all Penn State, State College. I was born right into it.
Well, let me ask you a couple of quick names, other musicians from PA, and just let me know if you've ever run into them throughout your years of traveling and touring and playing to bars and clubs and arenas. What about Hall & Oates?
Now, very, very aware, but have not, oddly enough, we'll do, like when I'm out doing solo shows and we're playing different places, we'll just miss each other, but have not bumped into them, no.
What about Trent Reznor? I think he's pretty close to where you were born. I think like real close.
Absolutely. Again, acquaintances with, but that would be it. Unfortunately, not toured together, but incredible. I say not just musician, incredible inventor of good, unique music and soundtracks.
What about Joan Jett? You've got to know her.
She'll be out on tour with us on the stadium tour this summer. And Joan has done a bunch of shows with me, not only solo, but out with Poison. Incredible.
What about Christina Aguilera?
Now, Christina, she's Pittsburgh girl, right? And yes, acquaintance. When I came back from my crazy brain hemorrhage, right? The first performance that I could do that I was actually walking, talking past the really bad portion of it, I did American Idol as their grand finale. And she was doing the same night. And this is how crazy this story goes. Super nice, met in the hall. You know what I mean? Got a chance to talk in the hallway, but it's crazy. You know what I mean? We're ready to go on, and he had these massive amount of steps I'm supposed to walk down. I said, I'm learning to walk and talk a little bit again right now. Probably not going to make down those steps. So me and her were going to share those. She braved the steps. I made my way out from the
That's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Last one. What about the Bloodhound Gang? Has Bret Michaels and the Bloodhound Gang ever crossed paths?
We have not, unfortunately. No. I wish I could say yes, but no.
You mentioned the hemorrhage. I wanted to ask you, with the diabetes and the hemorrhage, you've probably taken a real honest look at mortality. Those two things together, man, really had to have you take stock on what it is you do, you've done, and you can do.
First of all, that's a great, not only, it's a great question, but it's really the truth. And I say this, I think I was, I call it, you know when they say baptism by fire? At the age of 6, already given myself 4 and 5 injections a day up until now, right? And when I say that, I think it has been, I don't have a victim mentality. Being from Pennsylvania, I have a very go out there, live it, rock it, do it, find a way to get it done. That's always been my thing, right? Try to keep as best of a positive energy as I can. But diabetes, without a doubt, was a test. But having that, it was a combination. It was the brain hemorrhage. And then what caused the brain hemorrhage was I had a hole in my heart called a PFO. I'm not making this up. I didn't even know you could live with that. And they go, no, you have a PFO. We've got to go in and do heart surgery literally a month after the brain surgery.
Wow.
I was like, are you guys kidding me? I'm like, what's happening right now? And it makes you, let me say this, I'm always a grateful person, grateful for the chances I get, the opportunities for life, for the fans, grateful for you doing this interview. That's my mentality. It's not a put on mentality. It's true gratefulness. But when you go through that brain hemorrhage, heart surgery / diabetes combo, it makes you appreciate every great second you get.
But I bet, though, your mind was pretty wrapped up in your kids, though, because as a father, you're probably like, how's this affecting them? What if they have health issues in the future? I bet you probably thought about other people more than your own possibilities.
1,000,000%. And being a dad, first of all, I've said this in every interview I did, I love being a dad. And that, without a doubt, is part of the unwritten law of why you want to fight to live and fight to get back to the best you can. In other words, whatever I was going to be given to get back to, I was given 1,000%. And it is for not only just being able to go out and rock and play music. It's for your family. It's for your kids. And the fans, it matters. The incredible outpouring from the amazing fans, 3 generations of them, it matters. It works and it helps.
It's Bret Michaels from Poison. He's got a solo tour. The last time he was here, it was so crazy. People were climbing trees to see him on stage. Massive crowds here in Idaho. Now, this is the Nothing But a Good Vibe tour. It's kind of got this Kenny Chesney and Jimmy Buffett feel. And I know you know both of those dudes. Buffett was on your last album, the one with all the other guest appearances. And I'm pretty sure you and Kenny have done each other's songs and performed together.
Oh, yeah. Let me say this. I'm a guy, and I say this to all the fans coming out. Like, when we were there and it broke, it was like we played in the park and there was unbelievable amount of people. But you know what it was? I think what people have understood with me, it goes beyond the music. For instance, me walking on stage with Jimmy Buffett, if people ever want to look it up, us doing Margaritaville together, it was an incredible experience. We're friends. We do music together. Kenny Chesney and I go out. We do great. He's been on stage with me. I've gone on stage at his stadium tour with him. We go up and do Every Rose Has Its Thorn. And what I wanted to say is that is where the gratefulness of music was standing the test of time and being great, whether it's rock music, pop music, country music, those songs would stand the test of time. And I'm just going to say this. I meet people. We end up becoming friends for life. And it goes just beyond the music. But that's what this Party Girl, Nothing But a Good Vibe tour is. My whole crew's putting beads on people when they're coming in. They're walking past merch. They don't need to get anything. We're making people feel good. And especially, long story super short, after the last couple of years, not just the fans, but myself, I'm ready to I want to get out and really try to have a great time.
Did you ever have anybody that you met that was kind of a dick to you? Because I've met you a few times, once in Pennsylvania, I think actually in Scranton, another time at a casino in Kansas. But you do everything for the fans. You chat, you sign guitars, you do interviews. Talked about handing out the beads. You want it to be a party. You're thinking about the people with COVID hadn't been out. Did you have somebody that you ran into that wasn't what you wanted of a rock star, or the opposite? Did you have somebody that was so nice, you're like, if I make it, if this Poison thing does it, this is what I'm going to do for my fans? So where did that come from, or is that just natural?
First of all, again, great question. I want to say this. It's organic. It's natural. It's part of who I was as a kid, and I'm thanking my mom and dad for that. They were just, that was their personality, right? Hardworking. Don't ever misunderstand me. Hardworking. Coming from my mom and dad, that passed on as a kid. I've always said this, more than meeting, I've never really met anyone that I haven't, for the most part, become friends with or good acquaintances. In other words, you meet for a moment, it's a great time, and then there's others that end up becoming friends for life, whether they're musicians, celebrities or not, just great people, right? But what inspired me as a kid is watching my mom, as me as a diabetic, go out there. We had very little, if any, money, and she went out there and made the first diabetic camp in Harrisburg out of pure willpower. It didn't come from us throwing money around. It came from just asking people, are you willing to help some of these kids out that don't know what's happening to them? And my dad was the same way. There wasn't anyone he didn't meet at a bar or any place. Like, when my father passed, people showed up in droves, and they were like, your dad did this, or help my family out. And I think that, again, I want to say this quote, I don't need to be the life or want to be the life of the party. I want you to have a great time. That makes me have a great time.
So does that...
If you're having a good time,
Yeah.
I'm having a good time.
Does the charm then, it sounds like the goodness might be a little bit of your mom. Is the charm from your dad? Because like I said, I've seen you with fans. You're great. Celebrity Apprentice, like Sharon Osbourne loves you. Professional wrestlers love you. You can also charm a celebrity. And like you said, we become friends. So is that from your dad? Was he the charming guy that kind of like showed you like this is the way to be?
When I say natural, he never sat down and said, this is what you have to be. I just learned by example. So here's a perfect example. You want a Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yo,
when
I
I
love
say Steelers.
This is so Pennsylvania. I haven't had somebody from Pennsylvania, this Pennsylvania, in a long time. I'm loving it.
So here's a Pennsylvania story for you that'll go right up there with Yins. My dad be like, Yins having a good time. I'm going to go see Steelers. Here's the first thing I learned with Pittsburgh. And Philly, too, but I'm saying Pittsburgh, you never said more than 3 words. You just were kind of like, Yin's going down Steelers early. Meant, I'm going to be down at Three River Stadium in the parking lot and barbecuing. You didn't have to say much. Everyone was taking care of everybody. It's still like that. I'm not making this up. Big parking lot parties, everyone sharing drinks, food, whatever. But one of the best stories of my dad, I cannot make this up. I was a kid. He was at a bar watching a Steelers game. Didn't know the other people sitting at the bar. Now, I'm not drinking, but you were allowed to take your kid into the bar.
Oh, yeah, every place. As long as your kid's not drinking, there might be a pool table. He can hang out there.
I had the pool table, and they'd never slip me a drink, but they let, he'd be up there having his beers, and, and I got everything but the alcohol. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, put your kid back by the pool table. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so growing up like that, watching my dad, a guy came in. You could tell he was going to leave because he was running a little low on cash. My dad's like, you're not going anywhere. Bought him beers, bought him a lunch. There was nothing he wanted from it. He just wanted the guy to continue to enjoy the Steelers game. And then that came back to him. When he was here or our family got down on our luck, I'm just saying people came back to help it out. And it just kind of sort of that pay it forward attitude.
I imagine the band Poison has to have some of that since you guys have gotten along for so long, for so well. I saw recently, like you were in Ricky Rocket's wedding, and for fans, it's not surprising, but it is because we think like, well, after 30 years, 35 years, you guys are still close. And as fans, we go, yeah, that's what we want. We want him to be in his wedding. That's the coolest thing. So I bet a little bit of that buying the lunch is in the band of Poison too. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made it this long.
1,000,000%. You got to remember this. We grew up small town, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and other than Cece coming from Brooklyn, New York, we started out moving the pool table out of the bar. Literally to get the drum kit in, me and Ricky would have to lift the pool table up and move it to play at Dutch's Bar and Grill on the Susquehanna. We literally remember our first big signing? I'm going to make you laugh.
Okay.
I said, let me dispel a rumor. So I read all these magazines. I'm reading Hit Parade or Circus. Kiss has a jet landed to pick them up for their signing, this, that. Let me tell you my signing day. We were an independent band on a warehouse floor in El Segundo, California, sitting down with our legs crossed, literally, not making this up, sitting down, boxing our albums and cassettes. This isn't like the brochure.
I was duped.
I got duped. But the beauty of it was we have bonded. We are like at that wedding, at Ricky's wedding, we could not stop laughing. Like me and him just cutting up, having a great time, and Bobby. And I wouldn't be here talking to you solo for the show or otherwise had the four of us not had each other's back.
Now, did you have to have conversations with him and the band about his health and the looming stadium tours? That had to have been difficult conversations because you've got COVID, you've got your solo tour, you've got solo records, you've got Ricky's health, you've got the stadium's on, the stadium's off, the stadium's on, the stadium's off. Man, that's got to be a headache.
Well, here's the thing. Again, if me and you if even we hung a couple days on the road, you will learn. I'm going to learn how to get it done. Have fun, but roll with the punches. So it's a 3-kicker. It's a 3-kicker series. Have fun, get it done, but roll with the punches. Because when I tell you it's a lot of moving targets in the business of music, there is a lot of moving targets that you have to be able to adapt to. And for us, we just go, how are we doing this? I'm coming up, again, to see you and want to do something great with maybe sending you or some fans on me to one of the stadium dates. Maybe the closest is Vegas. So if it's something we can do, we'll figure out how to do it. I'm going to be giving some of those tickets away at my show with you. But we will do something amazing. But you're right. Between Ricky's health, making sure he's going to be healthy, but he's fired up. That guy, I'm going to say this, like us in that Pennsylvania attitude, he's got a fighting spirit. There's no give up in him. There isn't. And he even got as far, it went really bad, and he finally had to go to the alternative medicine route. And it's really keeping him very healthy and very alive.
I wanted to talk about Vince Neil, but without talking about Vince Neil. You guys have known each other forever, so I'm not looking for any sort of clickbait or to talk trash on him. But as a musician that's been doing it professionally, Bret, for your life, this has been your paying job for decades in addition to the TV stuff. How do you physically stay in shape to be the frontman of a rock band? That's no small feat.
Well, first of all, I want to say I got this thing. I laughed. I created this new thing it's called Headbanger's Neck. I literally go in for therapy for Headbanger's Neck, and they go, Bret, what do we? I go, look, you're like an athlete out there as a musician and a front man. You're throwing your head around, you're rolling, jumping. Depends on what kind of band you are, but I said I'm real active on that stage, and and I'll say this for me again. I go back to this. I'm a really active person, and being diabetic, I don't get a choice. In other words, that was the card I was dealt, and I stay active not only to control the blood sugar, but it's because of who I am. It's what I like to do. On the road, I've got the mountain bikes. We're out playing football, baseball. I bring my dirt bikes where available, and I just stay active. I know that sounds crazy, but it also allows me to I want to put on a badass show for the fans.
What about vocal issues? Something happens to your voice. How do you get through it? Have you had it happen in the past? Have you ever been worried, like, I think it's gone forever? Or as a singer, you're like, you know what? It gets injured. I take time and I come back.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. I'm going to tell you, I warm up, I do stuff because, again, let's be really honest. The fans are traveling. They're coming out to see you. They want a good show. For me, I want to put on a badass show. I want to sing good. I want to sound good. And you got to remember, with Poison or Bret Michaels' band, we don't use anything. There's nothing going on. There's no tools, click.
No backing tracks. Yeah.
There's no backing track. What we're singing, we set at sound check and work on those harmonies. We work on making it sound good. That's what I set out to be, was a musician. So you got to be able to bring it. And there's a few times, I'm not going to lie to you. You're doing one stretch, I was doing solo and Poison, and I did 14 in a row, and that beat my voice up pretty good, but then I had to take a little medication, got through it for the voice, and then had a day off and got it to heal, and I'm good to go.
Oftentimes on the air, on the radio here, when we're going into Every Rose Has Its Thorn, a couple of times I've said, Bret Michaels was at a laundromat, calls his girl, here's a guy in the background. Am I telling the right story? Should I stop telling that? That's what I had heard. Is that inaccurate?
That is completely accurate. Are you ready for this? We're talking about Kenny Chesney. We're talking about Jimmy Buffett. I like all kind of music. Listen, for everyone listening, your listeners, music is for you, meaning pick out what you like. I've never worried, I love Aerosmith and AC/DC, Kiss, Zeppelin, and then I turn around and I got Kenny Chesney, I got Luke Combs, Luke Bryan, Jimmy Buffett, Bob Marley. That's the beauty of music. Pick out what rocks your world, right? So having said that, I talked Poison into playing a then country and western bar called the Ritz. So it's a country bar. We're on the Poison tour. I said, guys, let's just go play it. We go and play the show. We get done. I come back to the let's not say hotel. We didn't have those kind of amenities.
Motel.
This started with an M, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the amenities go away when there's an M involved.
Yeah.
So we were at the motel, and I was living in the RV, literally the same one we drove around. I can't make this up. I made that phone call while washing my clothes and waiting for them to wash and dry. I could hear the murmuring. You could tell by the odd acting and the murmuring. and there's no saints here. Let me just say this, nor her nor I fault, just young love. There was no saints in this thing, and it broke my heart, and that's what inspired Every Rose.
You know, that's such a powerful story, though, to hear you go through that heartbreak and that gut-dropping feeling. In hindsight, what a great story for a great song. But, man, it just connects so much because everybody knows that feeling. Everybody.
Absolutely. You just said, this is the genius in what you just said. I want to say this. It's a relatability. That song, when we took that back to Capitol Records, they weren't even going to release it. They're like, I don't really get it. It's, Bret, I know you did I Won't Forget You, but this was a little more acoustic and country. And I said, well, what about the Eagles? And great. I said, it's just a good song. And I'm heartbroken. It was real. And I had to fight to get that song released. This is the beauty of the story of this. Not only was my heart broken, but then they were like, I think it's good. I don't know where it's going to go. We'll release it third or fourth on the record if we get to that point.
Oh, man.
Right? The toughest song to write, the toughest song, is a party song. Because while you're partying, you're having a great time. Who feels like sitting down and writing about the party? You're in it. The heartbreak and someone like Chemo, my buddy, passing away, something to believe in, the most direct songs to write, the ones where the lyrics just pour out of you, is when your heart is ripped out, when your gut's ripped out, when a good friend passes away or a parent. Those ones are the ones that are, it sounds crazy, the heartbreaking ones are the ones that are direct and really unleash the writing. The tough songs to write, oddly enough, as much as I love Nothing But a Good Time and it's my favorite song live to party to, they're tougher to write because you're in the middle of a party. If you listen to Nothing But a Good Time, I'm relating it to my first job as a busboy and a cook. So I had to take something that was, when I say they put me to work, it was, I'm not sure there was much child labor laws back then.
Oh, no, yeah. Yeah.
They were limited, along with seatbelts, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, with metal dashes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The seatbelt was my dad's arm reaching over if we had to put the brakes on.
Ashtrays in every back seat, you know.
Yeah. Oh, we had an ashtray. Put it this way: the ashtray in the center was held by beanbags.
Yes.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
The one that I remember was kind of red and black, kind of like a Celtic-looking, like Scottish kilt look. Yeah, but it was a beanbag, and the ashtray was part of it. I don't know if they made them in home ec or what, but everybody had one.
I'm telling you right now.
Plaid. That's what I was thinking. Plaid one.
Plaid. You just gave. I got chills up and down my arm. I was just going to say it looked like may have possibly been a Bay City Rollers album.
Oh, yes.
It was unbelievable. That's the ashtrays in our cars were held by beanbag things that look plaid. That I'll never forget it. You know, right now, some of the listeners are going, "What in the?"
It doesn't matter. I remember. I instantly smell cigarette smoke, but the old ashtray in a car smelled different than a bar or a college party house, campsite. The ashtray in the car has a different after smell, and now that smell has kicked off that memory.
1 billion%. I'm like, is anyone in this car? Should we roll a window down in here?
They had the little side window, like the little triangle. That didn't do anything.
They kicked that little. Remember, it had its own little handle. It had its own separate handle.
Yeah.
Remember the little tripod, the window.
Yeah. That was the best. Oh, man.
We survived it.
Yeah.
We survived it, and we're going to throw a hell of a party on Saturday.
Yeah, it's Bret Michaels Saturday. We're giving away tickets, Nothing But a Good Vibe tour. He's got the stylings of Chesney and Jimmy Buffett, so it's a big party scene. Think of that outside.
Let me say this. All the Poison hits. There's no, we rock the living bejesus out of the Poison hits mixed in with the few. But the vibe is very, very, it's like Buffett meets rock and roll. It's Buffett meets Poison and Kenny Chesney. It's the music we play, great tunes and a good party.
And the Bret Michaels band has been together for a long time, so this isn't like a slew of new guys. This is a band that tours and knows each other, knows the songs. No backing tracks, like he said.
Nothing. This is and we're adding some new stuff in there for that night and songs that everyone's going to know. And like I said, they come out. People just, whether they're coming out because of Poison, Rock of Love, whatever the reason is, they all leave having a good time.
A true pleasure to talk to you today, man, and we can't wait to see you this weekend in Boise.
I can't wait. Thank you for your time and the good energy and a great interview. I can't wait to see you. and we'll take care of some of them fans if they're willing to make the trek. We're going to get them. We're going to do some great grand prizes for them to come out and see the stadium tour as a gift from me. We're going to throw a huge one of those mixtures of I call it Crocker Fest. It's cooking, country, and classic rock. So we're going to have all some hot country artists, some great classic rock, and we mix it up the whole day, and then we make it a big cooking and food festival as well.
I want to start my own festival and have like Leonard Skinner and then Poison and call it Croc Fest, country and rock, and then it's sponsored by Crocs. So you get there, you can buy like Bret Michaels Crocs, you can buy Leonard Skinner Crocs, but also if you wear a pair of Crocs to the show, you get like half off the admission.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make that happen in 23. How's that sound?
Croc Fest is coming.
23. We're going to make it happen.
Kenny Chesney and Bret Michaels, that would be a good one.
I'm just telling you, maybe a little Toby Keith and Bret Michaels.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Kenny, I'm just throwing it out there. Kenny and Bret Michaels. We've already done it a couple of times. Now we're going to threaten to do it a little. We're going to bring it up there and throw, like I said, the big Crocker Festival.
I love it. Bret Michaels, thank you so much. We'll see you this weekend.
Hey, thank you. I'll see you soon. Have a great day and great Memorial Day weekend.